Welcome to Sleep Shaper, where the gentle embrace of peaceful bedtime stories will carry you into a deep and restorative rest. I'm Saiful, your host, and I'm so grateful you've decided to join me tonight, ready to unwind and let the calm of this moment wash over you. Tonight, we'll take a serene walk alongside a weary traveler, Sarah, who embarks on a peaceful journey with Jesus. As she walks through the stillness of the night, she learns profound lessons of love, compassion, and the quiet strength found in small acts of kindness. Through her journey, Sarah discovers that true peace comes not from the absence of chaos, but from the presence of God in every moment. Let the gentle flow of Sarah's journey guide you into a deep sense of tranquility, wrapping you in the warmth of peace, where comfort and serenity await. The evening unfurls like a soft blanket across the horizon, as the sun slowly sinks behind distant hills, casting long shadows over the land. The sky transitions from pale lavender to deep indigo, and the first stars begin to twinkle, scattered like silver dust across the vast velvet expanse. The world around Sarah is still, as if nature itself is holding its breath in quiet reverence for the approaching night. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of wildflowers that sway gently in the evening breeze. Each breath Sarah takes feels like a sacred moment, drawing in the stillness, calming the restlessness in her heart. The weight of the day's struggles, the noise and busyness of the world seem to melt away with each step. As Sarah walks along the gravel path, the soft crunch of the stones beneath her feet echoes in the quiet, a rhythmic sound that seems to ground her to the earth itself. Above her, the trees stretch their limbs towards the sky, their leaves rustling with the tender whispers of the wind. It is as though they are speaking in a language only the soul can understand, a language of peace and rest. The air is filled with the subtle fragrance of pine and earth, a reminder of the Creator's handiwork, and Sarah feels the calming embrace of God's presence. The faint hum of crickets fills the background, a gentle melody that harmonizes with the soothing sounds of nature. In the distance, a stream babbles softly over smooth stones, its peaceful song creating a comforting rhythm in the air. The water's gentle flow mirrors the calm that is beginning to settle within Sarah's heart, offering a quiet reassurance that all is as it should be. In the midst of this peaceful scene, Sarah notices a figure walking beside her. It is Jesus, his presence like a soft, inviting breeze that stirs the air around her. He walks with a quiet grace, his footsteps light and sure, his face radiating a peace that Sarah has never known. The weight of the world seems to dissipate in his presence, replaced by a sense of warmth and acceptance. Come, walk with me, Jesus invites, his voice as gentle as a lullaby, but with an authority that carries the fullness of love and compassion. As his words reach her ears, Sarah feels an immediate peace wash over her, like a wave of soothing balm. Her heart, so heavy just moments before, begins to lighten, and the exhaustion from the day fades into the background. As Sarah glances at him, she notices the quiet kindness in his eyes, the deep understanding that seems to see into her very soul. His gaze feels like home, like a place where she belongs, where she is understood without words. The wind seems to carry his presence in its whispers, wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. She is no longer alone on this journey. They begin to walk together, side by side, and the path ahead stretches out before them, endless, peaceful road that seems to represent the journey of life itself. Each step taken feels more purposeful, more intentional, as though the weight of Sarah's burdens is being lifted with each gentle stride. The path ahead is lined with tall grasses that sway in the breeze, and the soft light of the moon filters through the branches above, casting dappled patterns on the ground. "Jesus," Sarah whispers, her voice barely a breath. "The world is so heavy. I feel lost in its noise and confusion. How can I find peace again?" Jesus turns to her, his smile tender and filled with understanding. He looks at her as though he has been waiting for this moment, for her to speak the truth of her heart. His eyes, full of love and compassion, seem to reach deep into her soul, offering the quiet comfort of unconditional acceptance. "Let us walk, and I will show you the quiet moments where love and compassion bloom," he says softly. It is not always the grand things that bring peace, but the small acts of kindness, the quiet moments of grace. The world may be loud, but within you there is a stillness waiting to be discovered. Sarah feels his words settle deep within her, like a seed being planted in fertile soil. The path ahead, now bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight, seems to open up, inviting her to take another step into this sacred moment. The trees whisper their approval, their leaves rustling gently in the breeze, a symphony of peace and rest. And as they walk, the air around them hums with the gentle promise of something more, a love that transcends the noise, a peace that is not dependent on circumstances, but on the quiet presence of God in every moment. "Come, let me share a story with you," Jesus continues, his voice steady and full of warmth. "A story of love that comes in the quietest of ways, transforming lives." As Sarah listens, her heart stirs with anticipation. In this peaceful, sacred space, she knows that she is not just hearing a story, but stepping into something much deeper. This is a journey into the heart of love, and with Jesus walking beside her, she is ready to embrace it. The path they walk upon grows softer, as if nature itself is responding to their presence. The gentle breeze stirs the tall grasses beside them, which sway in rhythmic harmony, their tips brushing the earth as though offering a silent prayer. The moonlight continues to dance through the branches of the trees, casting a cool silver glow over the landscape. Every step feels like a sacred part of the journey, and the world around them holds its breath in quiet reverence as they walk. Jesus' voice breaks the silence, smooth and steady, like the tranquil flow of a river. He begins to tell a story, one that Sarah knows well, but tonight it feels different, deeper, more intimate, as if the story is unfolding in a place far beyond mere words. "There was once a shepherd," Jesus says softly, "who had 100 sheep. He tended to them with care, leading them to lush pastures and ensuring they had everything they needed. Each sheep was precious to him. But one day, one of the sheep wandered off, slipped away unnoticed, and was lost. The quiet around them seems to grow more profound, as if nature itself is listening to the words, each syllable floating in the air like a delicate prayer." Sarah's mind begins to picture the vast, open fields the shepherd must have walked, the towering hills that loomed in the distance, and the soft bleat of the sheep calling for comfort. The shepherd, Jesus continues, could have stayed with the 99 who were safe, but his heart ached for the one who was lost. So he left the others behind, setting off into the wilderness with nothing but his staff, calling out softly, "Come, little one, I am here, come home." The sound of Jesus' voice is soft, but it carries an undeniable strength, a deep love that resonates in every word. Sarah feels her heart stir with compassion for the shepherd, imagining the solitude of his journey through the wilderness, the quiet desperation in his search. Through rocky valleys and thorn-filled thickets, he searched for hours, calling out with all his love. "Come home," he whispered, "I will not leave you." The gentle wind seems to echo Jesus' words, as though the very air around them is holding on to the shepherd's call. Sarah's heart is drawn into the story, her breath slowing as she pictures the shepherd's tireless search. She can almost hear the echo of his voice calling through the darkened fields, the soft crunch of his boots on the earth beneath him, and the whisper of leaves stirring as he moves through the quiet night. Finally, Jesus says, his voice tender and filled with warmth, "The shepherd found the little sheep, trembling and alone in the wilderness. He did not scold it for straying, but he picked it up with great care, wrapping it gently in his arms, and with joy, he carried it back to the fold, calling to his friends and neighbors, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found my lost sheep.'" The sound of a distant nightingale's song carries through the air, as if the very world is rejoicing with the shepherd's happiness. The breeze picks up, rustling the leaves above them in a soft chorus of celebration. The peaceful stream, which had been murmuring in the distance, now sounds like a chorus of joy, flowing ever more freely. Jesus pauses, letting the weight of the story settle deeply within Sarah's heart. The air feels still, but filled with unspoken understanding, as if the entire universe is waiting for her to reflect on the meaning behind these words. Even the smallest, most forgotten moments matter, Jesus says, his voice as gentle as a lullaby. "You are never lost to me. Just as the shepherd searched for the lost sheep, I search for you, always with love and compassion." No one is forgotten. Every heart, no matter how broken or wandering, is precious in my sight. The breeze moves gently across Sarah's face, as though it's brushing away the weight of her burdens, reminding her that she, too, is always held in the care of the shepherd. She feels a deep warmth spread through her chest, a sense of being seen, understood, and loved beyond measure. Every act of kindness, Jesus continues, his words wrapping around Sarah like a warm, comforting blanket, no matter how small, echoes in eternity. The smallest gesture, a soft word, or a quiet prayer, has the power to change the course of a life. And that change begins with love, the same love that calls to the lost, the same love that calls to you. Sarah feels the truth of these words sink deep within her soul, like a seed taking root in fertile soil. The world feels softer, the harshness of her struggles fading into the background, replaced by the tender assurance that she is always found, no matter where she wanders. She is never forgotten by the one who loves her with an eternal love. As the moonlight filters through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the ground, Sarah feels a sense of peace she has not known before. The crickets continue their gentle song, and the soft murmur of the stream blends with the sound of her own heartbeat. Everything around her feels so still, so perfect in this moment, that she wonders if the whole world might be holding its breath, waiting for her to remember she is never truly lost. And in that peace, Sarah smiles softly, knowing that the shepherd will always come looking for her, and that no matter where she is, she will always be held in his love. As Sarah and Jesus continue their walk, the world around them seems to glow softly under the moon's embrace. The path, though winding, is bathed in gentle silver light, and the landscape feels like an endless stretch of peace, with rolling hills and fields of tall, whispering grass. The night air is cool, carrying the soft fragrance of blooming lavender and fresh earth. There's an unspoken stillness that makes every step feel sacred, every breath a prayer. The trees arch above them, their leaves rustling in harmony with the wind, like an ancient hymn carried from the past. The stars, scattered across the heavens, twinkle like countless promises, each one a gentle reminder of the Creator's eternal love. Every element of nature seems to be attuned to the quiet rhythm of the walk, as though Sarah and Jesus are walking through a living, breathing expression of God's love. "Sarah," Jesus says, his voice breaking the peaceful silence, "let me tell you another story. This one is simple, yet its lesson is profound. It speaks of love in its purest, most humble form." Sarah listens attentively, the soft murmur of a nearby brook providing a gentle backdrop to his words. The sound of the stream, flowing steadily over smooth stones, feels like a comforting lullaby, a quiet reminder of how God's love sustains everything. "There was once a woman," Jesus continues, "who was walking down a dusty road one day. She came upon a man who was weary and in need, thirsty and hungry, sitting by the side of the path. His clothes were worn, his face tired and desperate. He was a stranger to her. She did not know his name nor his story, but her heart was moved with compassion. As he speaks, the air around them seems to still even more, as if nature itself is holding its breath, listening for every word. The soft rustling of leaves above them carries an air of sacredness, and the breeze stirs just enough to caress Sarah's face, bringing with it the earthy scent of the land and the faint smell of wildflowers. The woman did not have much to give, Jesus continues, his voice like a soft balm, but she saw his need and her heart responded with love. She offered him what little she had, a cup of water, a piece of bread. It was a small offering, but it was given with a heart full of love. Sarah can picture it now, the dusty road winding through a quiet village, the sun warm on the horizon as the woman kneels beside the man. She imagines the cool water splashing gently from the cup, the bread breaking into pieces, shared with a stranger without hesitation. It was not a grand act, but in its simplicity, it became a symbol of God's unconditional love. Though she had little, Jesus continues, the woman gave freely, without expectation or thought of reward. She shared not only her food, but her heart in that small act of kindness. And though she did not know it, that simple gesture rippled through the fabric of time, touching lives in ways she could never imagine. As they walk, the moonlight spills through the canopy of trees above them, casting soft shadows on the ground that seem to dance like the memories of the woman's kindness. Sarah can almost hear the wind whispering through the branches, telling the story again in its own quiet language. Sometimes, Jesus says softly, we think that our actions must be grand to matter, but it is in the quiet, everyday moments of love that the world is changed. A simple touch, a kind word, a moment of grace, these are the things that transform hearts. These are the acts of love that echo in eternity. The soft rustle of the leaves above them seems to echo Jesus' words, as though nature itself is agreeing, whispering, yes, even the smallest act of kindness carries the weight of heaven. The distant murmur of the stream flows in a soothing cadence, mimicking the rhythm of Sarah's heartbeat, and she feels a profound peace settle within her soul. Jesus pauses, his gaze soft yet filled with strength. He turns to Sarah, his eyes filled with warmth and understanding, as if he is seeing into the very depth of her heart. Sarah, he says gently, What may seem like a small act to you, when done with love, carries infinite value. The woman who shared her water and bread did not see the ripple her kindness would cause, but in heaven, her gift was a treasure. Each act of love, no matter how small, is like a seed planted in the heart of the world. And with every seed of kindness you sow, you bring my kingdom a little closer to earth. Sarah feels her heart swell with understanding. She thinks of the moments in her own life, those quiet, often unnoticed acts of kindness she had given without thought of recognition. The smile offered to a stranger, the hand extended to a friend in need, the soft prayer whispered for someone suffering. It is in these small acts she realizes that God's love is made manifest. Her heart feels lighter, as though the weight of her own doubts and uncertainties are being lifted. One soft breath at a time, the breeze swirls around them, carrying with it the comforting scent of pine and earth, a reminder that God's love, like the wind, is always present, moving in and through all things. The sound of the stream grows fainter, almost as if it is settling into a peaceful slumber, mirroring the tranquility that is now filling Sarah's soul. Jesus smiles at her, his expression full of gentle understanding. Do not underestimate the power of love, Sarah. It is in the small, quiet acts of kindness that you will find the true strength of my kingdom. And when you offer your heart in love, even in the smallest ways, you are walking in my footsteps. They continue their walk, the path now winding through an open meadow, where the grass sways gently in the wind, and the soft hum of nature fills the air with a sense of peace. Sarah feels her heart lightened, and the weight of her doubts fades further with each step. In that moment, she knows that every act of kindness she offers, no matter how small, is a reflection of God's love in the world. And she realizes that in walking with Jesus, she is not only learning to receive love, but to offer it freely, share the peace she has found with others, just as the woman had shared her bread and water with the stranger. The journey continues as Sarah and Jesus walk deeper into the forest, where the path winds between tall, ancient trees. The air here is thicker, cooler, and filled with the earthy scent of moss and damp soil. The forest around them is full of life, the sound of birds settling for the night, the rustling of small creatures in the underbrush, and the whisper of the wind through the branches. It's a world in perfect harmony, where every leaf, every twig, every sound seems to be perfectly in tune with the rhythm of the earth as they walk. Sarah feels a deep sense of peace settle within her stillness that is unfamiliar yet profoundly comforting. Yet, despite the beauty of the world around her, a heavy thought begins to stir within her. The weight of the world she will return to, the world of noise, conflict, and confusions, suddenly feels overwhelming. She looks up at Jesus, the man beside her whose presence is like a balm to her weary soul, and her heart is filled with a question she's been holding back. Jesus, she whispers, her voice hesitant, as if afraid the peaceful world around them might shatter with her words. I've felt so much peace walking here with you. But when I return to the world, to the noise, to the greed, to the pain, how can I hold on to this peace? How can I carry the love and grace you've shown me when everything out there feels so loud, so broken? Jesus slows his pace, and the world seems to slow with him. The air stills, and the wind pauses in mid-breath, as though waiting for his words. He turns to Sarah, his gaze full of understanding, filled with compassion. The peaceful sounds of the forest continue around them, but for a moment, everything feels deeply sacred, like a moment suspended in time. The world, Sarah, Jesus, begins. His voice, soft but steady, is filled with noise. Noise of anger, fear, greed, and confusion. It is a place where the heart can grow weary, and the soul can become restless. But the peace you feel, hear this peace that you found walking with me. This peace is not just for this moment. It is not confined to the quiet of this forest, or the stillness of the night. The peace of God is with you always, even in the noise. The stillness of the forest around them is profound. The sound of a distant owl's hoot echoes softly, a reminder of the quiet wisdom that is ever present. The faint hum of the crickets picks up once more, as though to say, "This is the truth you seek." Jesus continues, his voice steady and filled with deep love. The world may be loud, but the voice of love is gentle. It does not demand to be heard, but it speaks in the quiet moments, in the soft whisper of compassion, in the kindness offered to a stranger, in the forgiveness given to someone who has wronged you. There, in those small moments, is where the peace of God lives. The trees around them seem to respond, their branches swaying with a soft rustle, as if nodding in agreement. Sarah feels a warm breeze stir, carrying with it the calming scent of pine and wildflowers. It feels like a gentle reassurance, a reminder that the presence of God is always with her. Even in the busy, chaotic world she will soon return to. Even in the noise, I am there, Jesus says, his eyes filled with love. And when you walk with me, you will begin to hear my voice in the quiet moments. You will find that peace is not a place or a time, but a presence. And that presence will never leave you. As they continue walking, the path ahead becomes less clear, winding into the shadows of the trees. Yet, the light of the moon continues to filter through the branches, casting soft beams onto the ground ahead, showing them the way. Sarah listens, deeply moved by Jesus' words, yet still feeling the weight of her question. "But Jesus," she whispers, "what if I forget? What if the noise of the world overwhelms me and I lose the peace I've found with you?" Jesus stops walking and turns to her fully, his gaze tender yet filled with strength. His hand reaches out, and Sarah feels the warmth of his touch on her arm, grounding her in that moment. "Sarah, you are never alone. You are never far from my love. The world will try to pull you in many directions, but you will always have a choice. In every moment, you can choose love, you can choose peace. And when you feel lost, you need only remember that I am with you. I will guide you, even through the noise. All you have to do is listen." The wind picks up again, and with it comes a deeper sense of assurance, as if the world itself is aligning with Jesus' words. The trees around them sway with the breeze, their leaves rustling in a way that sounds like a divine affirmation. The path, once unclear, now seems to open up in front of them, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. "You are never alone," Jesus repeats, his voice gentle, yet firm with truth. "Even in the loudest moments, my love will guide you. And when you choose kindness, when you choose grace, you will be bringing my peace to the world." As Sarah absorbs his words, the heaviness in her heart begins to lift. The world still feels overwhelming, but she knows now that peace is not dependent on the world's circumstances. Peace is a presence, a choice. And with Jesus walking beside her, she can face the noise of the world with a heart grounded in his love. The gentle sounds of the forest's soft breeze, the rustling of leaves, the faraway call of an owl become a gentle lullaby in the background. soothing Sarah's mind and spirit. She takes a deep breath, and the weight of the world begins to feel a little lighter. She looks at Jesus, her heart filled with trust. "Thank you, Jesus," she whispers. "I will carry your peace with me, no matter where I go." Jesus smiles, his gaze full of love, and as they continue their walk, the path ahead seems brighter, illuminated by the eternal light of God's presence. Sarah knows that, though the world may be noisy, she will always have the peace of God to carry with her. The night deepens as Sarah and Jesus walk along the winding path, the soft glow of the moonlight now shimmering like silver threads, weaving through the canopy of trees above them. The forest around them seems to exhale a deep sigh of contentment as the world settles into its peaceful rhythm. The stars above are clearer now, each one a small beacon of hope, casting their gentle light upon the earth below. The world feels still, as though every creature, every leaf, and every star is in perfect harmony with the divine dot. Sarah walks quietly beside Jesus, her heart filled with a sense of peace that is so profound, so all-encompassing, that it feels as though it has become a part of her very being. The burdens that once weighed heavy on her heart have lifted, replaced by a lightness and joy she has not known in years. The path ahead of them seems endless, yet she does not feel weary. Every step is a step closer to the peace she has found, a peace that resides deep within her soul. As they walk, the breeze stirs the leaves around them, sending soft whispers through the trees. The gentle sound of their rustling fills the air like a song, and the soft, rhythmic pulse of the earth beneath their feet is like a steady heartbeat, reminding Sarah that she is not alone. Jesus walks beside her, his presence like a steady hand on her shoulder, guiding her through this sacred moment. "Jesus," Sarah says softly, her voice full of trust and wonder. "I feel so much peace here with you, but I know that soon this journey will end. The world I will return to is full of noise and chaos. Can I carry this peace with me? Can I hold on to the love you've shown me when I leave this place?" Jesus smiles at her, his eyes filled with warmth and understanding. He stops, walking, and turns to face her fully. The soft light of the moon illuminates his face, making his features glow with a quiet radiance. For a moment, everything around them seems to pause, as if the world is holding its breath, waiting for his answer. "Sarah," Jesus says, his voice gentle yet filled with a quiet strength, "the peace you feel here is not just a temporary gift. It is the peace of God, and that peace does not depend on your circumstances. The world may be loud and restless, but my peace is always with you, even when you cannot see it. It is in your heart, in every step you take, in every act of love and kindness you offer." As he speaks, the sounds of the world around them, the rustling leaves, the distant murmur of the stream, the soft chirping of crickets seem to fade into a background of stillness, as though the earth itself is listening intently. Sarah feels a deep warmth fill her chest, a sense of security and love that flows from Jesus, wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. She feels as though she is being held in the palm of God's hand, a child of grace, protected and loved. "You can carry this peace with you, Sarah," Jesus continues, his voice a soothing balm to her soul. "It is not something that can be taken from you. It is a gift that you can choose to carry every moment, every day. Even when the world feels loud and overwhelming, you have the power to choose peace. You have the power to choose love. And when you choose those things, you will be walking with me, The air around them grows still, and the wind seems to pause in reverence. The moonlight shines even brighter, casting a soft, holy glow on the path ahead of them. For a moment, Sarah feels as though she is standing at the edge of something sacred, something eternal. She knows that the peace she has found here, in this quiet moment with Jesus, is not bound by time or place. It is a peace that transcends the noise of the world, a peace that is always available to her, no matter where she goes. "Thank you, Jesus," Sarah says, her voice filled with gratitude and awe. "I will carry your peace with me. I will walk in your love." Jesus smiles, a smile full of love and encouragement. "And I will walk with you always," he says. "You are never alone on this journey. Wherever you go, my love will guide you. And when you feel lost, when the world feels heavy, you need only remember that I am with you. I will always be here, walking beside you." As they continue down the path, Sarah feels a deep sense of trust rising within her, a trust in the love that has never failed her. The forest around them seems to glow even brighter, the stars above twinkling with divine promise. The wind picks up again, the soft rustling of the trees now a joyful sound, like a chorus of angels whispering their approval, with each step. Sarah feels more grounded in the peace Jesus has offered her. The road ahead may still be uncertain, but she knows now that the peace of God is something she can carry with her. It is not something that comes and goes with the circumstances of the world. It is something that lives within her, a constant, unshakable presence that will guide her through every storm as they approach the end of the path. Sarah looks up at Jesus, her heart filled with a quiet joy. "Thank you," she says again, her voice barely more than a whisper. "I am ready. I will walk in your love." Jesus looks at her with a love that transcends all understanding. "And I will walk with you, always." As they reach the end of the path, the forest opens up to a vast, quiet meadow bathed in the soft light of the stars. The world around them is still, and Sarah feels the full weight of the peace she has found. It is a peace that has not come from the absence of noise or trouble, but from the presence of love, God's love, walking beside her every step of the way. As Sarah prepares to rest, the quiet hum of nature around her seems to echo Jesus's final words, "Come, walk with me, and I will show you the way." And in that moment, Sarah knows that the walk with Jesus has not ended. It will continue with each step, with each moment, for the rest of her life.